documents. So they're coming in hundreds of pages of documents, and then they have teams of people who are literally going through all these documents, reading them, finding the number, and then keying it into an Excel file to then load into your database. So this is a perfect use case that we've come across a few times using something in Snowflake called Document AI that you can now train the models on these PDFs. Now, of course, it takes work and there's some quality checks and everything goes into that, but that's a very real use case to save people thousands of hours a year to then repurpose their time for somewhere else in the business. So that's one use case. Mm-hmm. Another one that we're starting to see as well too is if you think of more on the output side, so you think of Gen AI, and Satish and I were talking a little bit about this beforehand, but so much of it, if you think of like in finance and FP&A especially, they go through the rigor of, okay, well, I'm going to create all these PowerPoints, I'm going to create my commentary explaining variance on my flex reporting between actuals and budget, actuals and forecast. That is a very laborious process in general, to say the least, especially when you're at a very large organization. So now with Gen AI and some of these other tools that help you automatically put your outputs into PowerPoint, or even if you want to work within the dashboards themselves, which some companies are, you can now automatically generate, at least to give you a starting point with Gen AI. Now, it's not always going to be perfect, and you can eventually get it there, but imagine getting 80% of what you need as a starting point. You're like, okay, great, this explains the variances, you validate it, you maybe make some updates to the commentary, but imagine a team of 40 FP&A people, how much time that would save across each of those team members to be able to accomplish that. Then they can spend more time providing data to their department owners, leadership, and that way they're actually spending their time on the analysis of FP&A instead of just spending their time creating PowerPoints, which is a very